Hi there. My name is Maria Esposito. I'm a craniosacral therapist and a nutritional therapist. I've been in complementary therapy for about 30 years, so starting from the body to the inside, to nutritional, and then craniosacral therapy, healing, and NLP, neurolinguistic. Now, today I'm going to talk about the problems with breastfeeding that are due to tight jaw for babies' tight jaw or tightness of the entire system. Now, craniosacral therapy works with the entire system. It doesn't work just on the jaw. So when I do treat babies, I start probably from the feet, or I hold the baby in this way just to get used to my presence, to calm the entire system down before in some way I connect and the baby connects to me, so that the system, the body kind of connects to my system to get into a really good relaxation first, especially if they have had problem with breastfeeding for a long time due to tight jaw, and therefore they might not have they're hungry, they're annoyed, they're frustrated. The parents, the mother might be and so because of worries and concern about not having enough milk or not doing something wrong and not good enough, and all those things that sometimes mothers will think. But in reality, if it is a tight jaw, even if they had a perfect natural birth, it can have causes to their system. They might have been crunched up in for some way, on one way or another. The forces of the birth might have impacted a little bit on the neck and the entire head, and that will have tightened the jaw and the upper or lower jaw, and hence problems with their breastfeeding. Now, I have seen many babies that had that, and also other trauma from birth, but it doesn't mean that ventus or C-section or anything else. Obviously, they're more traumatic, but also very fast birth. Also, if the baby is big and the mother is small, they might have been crunched up a little bit, and therefore when they come up, they're still almost they're not able to stretch out. Even after 2 months, they're still in the, I would say, in the womb state, in this state in some way. And you want the baby, or even crunched up like that, and you want the baby to be especially after a month, to be really stretched out, but even before that, and sleep well when they're really fed and satisfied. Otherwise, if they are hungry, obviously they will cry. So, and also, well, baby Blue Eyes, my beautiful baby doll, it's actually showing that sometimes, even in a normal birth, but most of the time in traumatic, there is a tendency, because of the tightness of the entire, the skull, the jaw, as I said, the entire body might have a tendency to sleep on one side, and instead for example, if this side is a little bit shorter, it's tight, then it's possible that the baby doesn't turn their head too much on that side because of the pull of tightness of the opposite shoulder. So what they do is go here and then go there, and then really turn on this side without any problem. But then as soon as they try to turn this side, they go back very quickly. So there is a combination of that, and that can be also connected to the tightness of the entire fascia. And now with craniosacral therapy, not everybody does craniosacral therapy does fascial unwinding, but usually the baby, if you're very connected, if the therapist is connected, it start doing fascial unwinding. It starts unwinding the entire tightness of the baby, and including the tight shoulder, the tight neck, and compression and everything here. So and again, even though it's the mouth, I will when there is a problem with the mouth, I will feel with my little finger. I will try the sucking reflex and just feel the inside of the mouth, but also relax. After I've done the rest of the body, I will go to the head and the jaw and everything, just to relax whatever it needs. And I will put my finger in there. Even though they're sucking the finger, I'm still connected to the system, and the baby's connecting. And quite often they start turning on one side or another. They actually go into a really deep deep inside, deep within, you feel that there is a silence, there is a peace. Even the parents can feel it at some point. Doesn't last long, but they will really start unwinding and doing this. And as the fascia is all inside and outside, it involves the entire body, and then the inside of the mouth, outside of the mouth. And that also will unwind and relax the jaw as well. And then I can work a little bit more on them. So I usually, again, for babies, it all depends how long they had the problems. It can be 2 sessions, max 3. It's very rare that I do more than 3 unless there is a really stuckness in there and they're older. So otherwise it's really 2 to 3 sessions is enough to unwind and release. And quite often, if the baby is ready as well, if there is any epigenetic, so ancestor trauma or pattern that is there, then I will help with that too. It's usually an hour, and that's because quite a lot of patterns, quite a lot of stuff, a little bit comes, and when the baby is ready to let go, they will let me go, or they let go. But quite often, if they're younger, they just fall asleep, they sleep a little bit better. But they are awake when they're awake, they feed when they need to feed. So that's the difference. And if they are still in that womb state, especially if they're early, you will see the baby just stretches out and it's like a little star. It goes really relaxed. I work in North London, Crouch End, East Finchley, and N15. So I work with babies, but also with adults as well. Obviously, with adults, it takes much longer as they have those patterns ingrained, not just from child or baby stage, but from the adult state. And there is a question, it is a really good question that a mother asked, what happened if you, after 4 months, if they're still stuck in one side or another, they have reflux still at 4 months. That also helps, as I mentioned in my other videos, with reflux as well, if there is a compression of the fascia and the tightness somewhere. Now, what happens if you don't do anything? If there is that reflux and the head doesn't move completely on that side. Now, for some babies, eventually it will go. For others, there is that pattern of kind of being stuck or being bloated or being tight that might or might not go. And there are no research obviously on that, but I've seen, you know, if you, and obviously babies and, you know, adapt, the body adapts to anything. But it's what would happen, you know, we know for some children, and then they have problems later on in life with or either one foot or another, you know, the tightness somewhere or another, something that stuck them. What would happen instead of having that tightness from the start, from the beginning, the low trauma? And even with normal birth, remember. And the babies, instead of not sleeping as much, that's the thing, you know, when there is that tightness and there is reflux and everything. I know that it's normal at the beginning, maybe, but if you're constantly there, then it will affect eventually their lives in some way. And babies, especially at the beginning, they need to have a lot of sleep, you know, literally. If they don't sleep that much, it means their entire nervous system is still hyper. There is tightness and there is something that they need to let go. And this is including the breastfeeding. If they don't, you know, yes, you can give the bottle, but the problem will stay with the mouth, and then they might have problem with speech and all the rest of it. So it's not just as simple as what if we leave it, but what if you let go and the baby really gets into the state of being like this, you know, relaxed and sleeping when he needs to sleep, feed when they need to feed, and laugh and communicate with you. That's what you need to see, and that's what you need the baby to be. So you can look on my website, nutritionhealth.net. And I work in North London, as I mentioned, and Crouch End and East Finchley and N15. Just give me a call either for your baby, your children as well. The Children Anxiety is amazing tool. You know, when you start getting children that they had the sessions and they want the session because they have a major event and they feel anxious and they want some help, there is something that you're doing well, and they sleep well, and they, you know, all the rest of it. And adults, as I said, is amazing, is magical as well for them. The change of lives with nutrition and craniosacral therapy. I've seen it in many people in the past 14 years or 26, 24 with the nutritional side, that it's worth your time and money.